Regina Duggins is an educator, a District 20 constituent school board member, a mom, and a community activist. Now, she wants to represent the constituents of South Carolina House District 111 in Columbia. I speak exclusively with Regina for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, follow me on social media and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Regina Duggins, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it greatly. I know obviously you are an educator.
Yes.
A Charleston County District 20 constituent school board member.
Yes.
The founder of Charleston Pride, Black Pride that is.
Yes.
And now I understand that you're running for South Carolina House District 111.
Yes.
Tell me, what got you from being a educator and obviously a constituent school board member and the founder of the Charleston Black Pride to now saying, hey, I want to represent the folks of House District 111?
Well, one of my mottos is I feel that I'm the voice of the voiceless. So therefore, I love working with people. So as you can tell from being an educator and in the District 20 school board, the Pride board, and now running for the District 111, I really want to help the people. And
let me ask you this. I know earlier in your statement, you basically says, hey, I will not be silenced. I will continue to be the voice of the voiceless. Where has the voice been for the constituents of South Carolina House District 111?
I feel that some of them, they have been there, they've been vocal, but at the same time, you know, I live in that district,
right.
And I just feel that with the changes that's going on and the differences of people, the diversity, there needs to be more inclusivity. So therefore, there's voices that's there that haven't been speaking out.
And I know this too, you said this on your statement, it's quote, whether I'm your first choice or if you decide to continue to support a 12-year incumbent, I plan to not only transform issues surrounding the LGBTQ individuals here in my district by being an open LGBTQ candidate,
yes,
but I want everyone to focus on the principles that I stand on, which is family, community, and the need for a change mindset to come to this area.
Yes.
What is the mindset of District 111 right now?
Some of it is mixed because you have to think about gentrification. So when new people come in to the district, they come in with new issues or new concerns. And so therefore, they may, I actually got that statement because I went to a church on the east side, and there were a diverse group. Half was Caucasian and half was African Americans. And they were talking about just changing alternate sides of the street cleaning.
Wow. And
that was differences in opinion. So that's when I started to coin that term even more. Like, there's so many people that don't understand what may be just that minute to someone, but to someone else, they may feel that that's causing a hindrance. And I feel that, you know, working with the people,
right,
listening to them, and hearing what everyone's concern is in District 111 will help me with my platform and make it more innovative for the times that's going on currently.
When you look at those hindrances right now in the LGBTQ community, what concerns you the most?
That it's still a hidden agenda, and that a lot of the LGBTQ community don't feel comfortable to be themselves and walk in their truths.
If you were to become a state representative in District 111,
yes,
what bill would you put forth to protect those people?
I would try to make sure, one, that I know that this has been on the forefront, but a hate crime bill, people have to feel safe in their communities. For one, if they want to come out and, you know, or let people in to know about their lifestyle. So safety is one of my first. And also a bill where there can be an acceptance across the board in any workforces, any housing, there's no discrimination. So just to make sure that is passed and concrete, understood in the terms that's welcome LGBTQ individuals.
And you talk about safety and obviously,
yes,
you know,
yes,
issues going on right now. I know you're
yes,
wearing your mask to protect yourself.
Yes.
Let's talk about the coronavirus.
Yes.
Obviously, the General Assembly has been called back to Columbia.
Right.
If you were a state representative today, which bill would you approve of or co-sponsor to take care of those people in House District 111?
One of the bills that I would really stand on about with the COVID-19 is to make sure that there is fees money, that there is funds that's coming into the community to help. Also working with healthcare workers to make sure that there is enough masks, PPE, material to make sure that they're protected. That's one of my main things, to make sure that there's a bill in place that supports that. Because people, if they do want to start coming back out into the community, they have to feel comfortable and safe. And if they don't, then they're not going to want to come out. But if they're supplied that, or if there's stores that they can purchase it for a low cost, you know, because in New York, for $3 and maybe 50 cents, you can get 3 masks in a pack.
Wow.
So therefore, if we have something like that in more stores, and having some kind of protective shield, something, then, you know, people will feel more safer to come out. But if we don't have that accessibility, then they're not. It's going to be more of a hindrance.
And I want to talk to you about obviously growing up in the Coney Island of Brooklyn in just a few minutes.
Yes.
But let me pivot over to education.
Yes.
You said this quote, "This is a pivotal time for Charleston, South Carolina, because educational reconstruction is at its highest peak, with the communication surrounding single-member districts, school mergers, and the possibility of neighborhood school closures.
Yes.
As an educator, advocate, and a parent guardian of a child in the Charleston County School District, I feel that it's time that I speak up and to speak out, and as well as be the voice of the voiceless, because representation matters."
Yes.
You say representation matters.
Yes.
What should representation look like right now?
What should representation look like? Someone making sure, especially with this coronavirus, the teachers, you know, we really didn't know. Nobody knew how to plan for it. CCSD is doing a better job, but in the beginning, you know, a lot of kids still, you know, didn't have the equipments to do assignments, so they didn't have Chromebooks. So just to make sure we have a plan in action. We have a plan for hurricane. We have a plan for, you know, if a flooding or something, school closed, but we didn't have anything in place for the pandemic. So that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we have all of this included, so that people will be able to feel like, okay, I can be educated. We know that our state is at 46 out of 50 states in education, and we do not want our students to fall further behind. So therefore, we want to make sure that educators are equipped, so that the parents are equipped, so that the students are equipped, so that we can continue to thrive and make it a better education system here in South Carolina.
And you talk obviously throughout this interview about
Yes.
being the voice for the voiceless.
Yes.
Let me ask you, what decision would you make if you were to become state representative on the future of Burke High School?
Well, one, I would make sure that Burke High School is upstanding and still in existence. Burke High School has had many students that came out of that school that are very successful. So I will fight to make sure that that school stays open and operating, and I will make sure that it's a welcoming environment for all students. And adding more programming in the school that can welcome, you know, more students to be in that school. I just feel that with wraparound services in that school and more people fighting to back the school to stand strong, it will be it's a pivotal. When you have something that's like a monumental school in the community, you don't want to lose it. So, and the school has been there over 100 years. So my thing is, you know, you nurture that and you build it back up and strengthen it. And how you do that, you get strong leaders. I'm grateful for the principal that is there currently, but you keep building more strong leaders. So therefore, PTA needs to be strong. SIC needs to continue to be strong, and it is. I mean, there's some good leaders in there, but we need to make sure we're promoting it out, because it's word of mouth how people get to schools. So if you have the programs in place, and you have the people supporting the community and everyone, representatives, everyone supporting that school, I can see Burke thriving once again.
And let me get back to the coronavirus. You talk about obviously, you know, what happened in the beginning with the Charleston County School District. How would you work with them to make certain that the school district is open for kids in August?
Well, one of the things, they need to have a safety plan, which they are working on. I give a lot of kudos to the staff, principals that are working, you know, on making sure that we can have smaller classroom sizes, which is some of the things that we've been fighting for anyway. So it's kind of like we're getting our wish if this goes through. Smaller classroom sizes would definitely be a need. Making sure that, you know, kids are being screened. We have nurses in every school now, but to make sure the nurses are testing the teachers that come in, the students that come in. And we need to have a no policy, a zone basically saying if the child has a fever, they cannot be present in the school at that current time until they're well. No sick children, no sick teachers. Now, you know, I'm trying to see how they're going to work out busing.
Right.
But, you know, there will have to be, of course, smaller classroom size. There probably will be like lunch inside, less of the activities that they would normally do, because you have to make sure that the people who are in the building are safe at all times while they're in the building. It's very important.
And let me get back to your home,
Yes.
Brooklyn.
Yes.
I know, obviously, you were born and raised there.
Yes.
Who else is Regina Duggins?
Who else is Regina Duggins? Like I basically say, I am a strong advocate for special needs, special education. I'm a people person. You know, I've always been a community advocate. I was 12 years old and I started a dance group. When I was 16, I was on the Youth Tennis Association board. So I've always been voicing my opinions and what I felt was the best for any community. And I came here in Charleston, almost going to be 10 years, and I've been able to do the same thing. Wherever I'm going to make home, I'm going to be active in that where I call home.
Let me pick up there, because obviously you've been living here for close to 10 years.
Yes.
And I know that you say we face similar challenges as they do in Brooklyn, such as gun violence, senseless killings, desolate and unkept neighborhoods, threats of neighborhood public school closings, lack of jobs being evenly dispersed to our citizens, and lack of available adult education programs. What challenge does House District 111 that is have with obviously drugs?
They have they're working on it, but they still have a very high drug and crime rate. So therefore, working closely with grassroots organizations will help change that. Working within the neighborhood that the drug infested neighborhoods actually, because I always feel the answer to a problem and you want the solution is in that community. It's not outside, it's in the community. So therefore, finding strong leaders within each community and making sure that you find out what their needs are and doing all that you can to best support them so that they can have the resources and want to thrive. So basically changing their mindsets.
And how many jobs would you bring if you were a state representative to the district?
I would try to bring over thousands of jobs because they're going to need it. They're going to need it. One of the jobs that I would definitely want to make sure that we're doing is community building. Any way that they can work in housing, any way they can work with the homeless population, any way they can work with keeping areas clean. So their construction, I mean, this is just things that we have to rebuild. From this coronavirus, we're going to have to continue to rebuild. And we're going to have to continue to work together and close-knit together with all the people within the community.
And
in our district.
In our district. And you talk about the district and coronavirus. Many of those people who are affected are the elderly.
Yes.
How would you as a state representative work to make certain that these citizens are getting taken care of during this time and beyond?
Exactly. So right now I am the caregiver of my 76-year-old mother. And with some of the nursing homes being highly at risk for some of the seniors getting the coronavirus, I would make sure that every staff that comes in there, they are screened properly, they're wearing the proper protection. So it goes back to making sure that we have enough protective gear for the workers there. Even if you have to do almost a total lockdown. In New York, I have an aunt, she's in a senior living building. They do not let but one person, they have the home attendant that comes into her home to see her. If you really want to interact with her, there's FaceTime. You will call and you can talk with her, whatever, and things like that, but they are on total lockdown. There's 1 hour that they can go and do laundry that's in that facility. So you start to make sure there's wraparound services housed in these nursing facilities for the elderly. And then make sure that they can get everything that they possibly need, but only the people that are certified, that knows that how to wear the proper protective gears should be allowed in, especially during a pandemic. I'm sorry. And I understand it's hurtful for the families, but if you love your family member that's elderly that much and you know that it's affecting them, then you'll know the best thing to do is to stay away.
And let me get back to the district, because obviously there's a food desert that's going on in most areas. What comprehensive plan would you enact to make certain that there's a grocery store that comes to that district?
One of the things is making sure that we're working with city council and talking to our mayor and letting them know that, listen, this is what the needs are. But I can honestly say during this coronavirus, so many organizations, the food banks have stepped up. So, I mean, but if we can do that during a pandemic, just imagine what our voices can do when we say that we really want to close this food desert, and so that these stores need to be back in these communities so that our community can thrive. It's all about building that strength and community and numbers that's going to change and make those changes. That's another thing that I hope that people did their census. So when you fill out your census, It helps to bring grocery stores. It helps to bring facilities and things that's going to be beneficial for our community. So that's one of the things I would want to do, is make sure that I stand and talk with the locals and making sure that we get efficient grocery stores or sufficient grocery stores in that can be able to help our constituents.
Regina Duggins, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.